Hello, this is Jack from tofluency.com, and in this English lesson I'm going to test your knowledge of conditionals. Here is how it's going to work. I'm going to show you a sentence with part of that sentence missing. So all you have to do is to complete the sentence in the right way. I'll give you the verb and I'll tell you if it's going to be in the negative or in the positive. And again, all you have to do is complete that sentence. The questions are going to get progressively more difficult. So the first one might be easy for you, but I'm very interested to know how many people are going to get number 10 correct. I'll give you the answer after each question, and I'll also explain a little bit about that sentence and give you some more examples too. So let's get started with number 1. If it's something, they'll cancel the game. Use the verb to rain. If it rains, they'll cancel the game. This is the first conditional. And the if clause uses the present simple. Then the result clause can either use will or going to. So you can say, if it rains, they're going to cancel the game. We use this to talk about how one thing can affect something real in the future. So I have a game on Sunday, but if it rains, they'll cancel it. Here are some more examples. If you get the job, we'll celebrate. If you get the job, we'll celebrate. If they come for dinner on Wednesday, we'll have to clean the house on Sunday. If they come for dinner on Wednesday, we'll have to clean the house on Sunday. Number 2, when I something coffee, I feel exhausted. The verb is to have and in the negative. When I don't have coffee, I feel exhausted. This is the zero conditional, and it's used to talk about how one thing affects the other, but in general. So every time I don't have coffee in the morning, I feel exhausted. It's often used for facts. For example, when you leave ice cream outside in the sun, it melts. But again, it can be used to talk about our habits too. She only drinks wine when she has fish for dinner. So when she has something else for dinner, she doesn't drink wine. But when she has fish, she drinks wine. Number 3, if I had more time, I something for the course. Use the verb to sign up. If I had more time, I would sign up for the course. The second conditional, everybody's favourite conditional, to talk about hypothetical situations. I don't have enough time to take the course. But if that were different, if I had enough time, then I would sign up for the course. Here's a question. What would you buy if you had $1,000 to spend at the mall? What would you buy if you had $1,000 to spend at the mall? And look at this sentence. I would travel all over the world if I had the time and the money. I don't have the time and I don't have the money to travel all over the world, but if I did have that, I would travel all over the world. Number 4, if they something me that, I would have gone crazy. The verb to tell. If they had told me that, I would have gone crazy. Notice that I'm stressing me. If they had told me that, which really just puts the emphasis on the fact that they told someone else that, but if they had told me that, then I would have gone crazy. This is a third conditional, and it's like the second conditional but for the past. And we use the past perfect and then would have to form this conditional. A lot of you know that I met my wife in Ecuador in a language school. So I can say, if I hadn't gone to that language school, I wouldn't have met my wife. Again, how something hypothetical in the past affects something else in the past. If we had missed that flight, they never would have forgiven us. If we had missed that flight, they never would have forgiven us. Number 5. If you see him, something him that I can't make it. The verb to tell. If you see him, tell him that I can't make it. This is using the imperative in a first conditional structure. So, if you see him later, tell him. The imperative tense, tell him. You can also say, tell him if you see him. Tell him that I can't make it later if you see him. Tell him if you see him. And something parents might say to their children, come straight home when the movie finishes. Come straight home when the movie finishes. Number 6. It's beautiful here when something. The verb to snow. It's beautiful here when it snows. Again, this is using the zero conditional. And it's true, where we live, it is so beautiful when it snows. It doesn't snow that often, maybe twice a year, but it's beautiful when it does. Number 7. If you hadn't gone out last night, you something so tired right now. The verb to feel in the negative. If you hadn't gone out last night, you wouldn't be feeling so tired right now. So this one is a little bit more difficult, and it explains how changing something in the past would affect the present. You can also say, if you hadn't gone out last night, you wouldn't feel so tired right now. So you can use both wouldn't be feeling and wouldn't feel. Again, I imagine a lot of you found this quite difficult, so here are some more examples. If he had told me that, I'd still be mad right now. If he had told me that, I'd still be mad right now. So again, something changes in the past to affect the present. I wouldn't be living here if I hadn't met my wife. I wouldn't be living here if I hadn't met my wife. Number 8. I wouldn't buy that if something you. The verb to be. I wouldn't buy that if I were you. You might hear if I was you, but it's better to say if I were you. And we're using this here to give advice. I wouldn't buy that if I were you. You shouldn't buy that. Or don't buy that. Here's another example of if I were. If I were taller, I would be better at basketball. If I were taller, I'd be better at basketball. And here's a sentence for you to complete. If I were president, I would. If I were president, I would. Complete that sentence below. Okay, the next one. If we something more time, we would have gone. Use the verb to have. If we had more time, we would have gone. If you said, if we had had more time, yes, that's correct, but it's much more common just to say, if I had more time, even though we are using a third conditional sentence here. It just sounds strange to say had. So most people say, if I had. Here are some more third conditional examples. If I had more money back then, I would have wasted it. So talking about myself when I was younger, if I had more money back then, I would have wasted it. It would have been amazing if we had won. Talking about a game that you'd lost. It would have been amazing if we had won. And the last one. If I weren't playing tomorrow, I something yes to that beer. Use the verb to say. If I weren't playing tomorrow, I would say yes to that beer. Or, if I weren't playing tomorrow, I would have said yes to that beer. This one is really advanced. It shows how change in the future would affect the present or the past. Now, to say yes to something means to agree to something. So if somebody offers you a beer, you can say yes. But you have a football game tomorrow. So you say, if I weren't playing tomorrow, I would say yes to that beer. Or if you said no in the past, if I weren't playing tomorrow, I would have said yes to that beer. Again, this is quite complex, so feel free to watch this part again. But here is another example. If they weren't flying tomorrow, I'm sure they would have come to our party. So our friends didn't come to our party, but they have a good reason not to because they are flying tomorrow. If they weren't flying tomorrow, I'm sure they would have come to our party. You can also say, if they weren't flying tomorrow, I'm sure they would be here now. So that's how the future affects the present. If they weren't flying tomorrow, I'm sure they would be here now. Okay, so 10 conditional questions. How did you do? Leave a comment below telling me how many you got right out of 10. Tell me the ones that you got wrong, and also leave any questions you have about these questions in the comment section below, as I'd love to help you be more clear on these types of conditionals. And here's one more conditional for you. If you enjoyed this video, then please share it with your friends. In fact, share it with anyone who needs to test their knowledge on these questions. And also, if you really enjoyed it, then click that like button. Thank you so much for watching this. Be sure to also check out this playlist where I give lessons on all these types of conditionals. Thanks again, and I will speak to you soon. Bye-bye.